Yesterday, we talked about giving. Today, I want to show you what it actually looks like. Because giving in theory is easy to agree with. Giving in practice, it looks a lot more like a Tuesday morning when you'd rather stay home. Welcome back. Today's day 16 of your Money Mindset Reset. Yesterday, we reframed what giving actually is. Not just financial, but time, effort, presence, skill, knowledge, all of it counts. Today, we're making it concrete because the best way to understand something is to see it in action. So I'm going to walk you through what giving has actually looked like in my life. Not the highlight reel version, but the real one. The inconvenient, sometimes thankless, consistently worthwhile version. So you can see it in your own life, maybe a little bit better. Most people picture giving as some grand gesture, a large donation, a dramatic sacrifice, something that makes a visible difference in a visible way. But that's not how most meaningful giving works. Most of it is quiet, it's consistent, it's unremarkable from the outside. It looks like showing up again and again when it would be easier not to. It looks like giving something away that costs you something real, like time or energy or attention, without waiting for it to be recognized. Giving becomes a value when you do it even when no one is watching and nothing is expected in return. Until then, it's just a transaction. When my kids were being homeschooled, we made a point to volunteer every single week. We were at the animal shelter, showing up consistently week after week. Would it have been easier to skip it sometimes? Absolutely. But the point wasn't convenience. The value I was trying to pass on is this: giving your time to something or someone that will never be able to say thank you is worth doing. Not because of what you get back, because of who you become in doing it. That same mindset showed up closer to home too. We had elderly neighbors and we made it a habit to take care of their lawn before we did our own. In the winter, that meant their sidewalks got cleared first every time. Not because anyone asked us to, because if we didn't do it first, they would try to do it themselves, and that could have been genuinely dangerous for them. So we just showed up. Over the years, those neighbors became family. They were there for holidays, milestones, ordinary Sundays. The kind of connection that doesn't come from a transaction, it comes from showing up consistently over time without keeping score. Proximity plus consistency plus no expectation of return, that's the formula for the kind of giving that actually builds something in relationships and in your own sense of who you are. Who in your life do you show up for consistently without being asked? It doesn't have to be dramatic. Sometimes the most meaningful giving is the most ordinary. Giving also shows up in ways that don't look like giving at all from the outside. Through my work doing loan closings, I've had the absolute privilege of sitting with people during some of the most significant financial moments in their life. While my role is specifically as the closing agent, I'm not the one structuring the deal or making the lending decisions. I've made a point of sharing things I know that can genuinely help people. Little things that make a real difference. Like reminding people to freeze or lock their credit when it's not being actively used, and making sure their address can't be changed without requiring a personal appearance or an ID. Or letting someone know that they can request PMI to be removed from their mortgage months and sometimes more than a year before it drops off automatically. That's money back in their pocket that they'd otherwise just keep paying unnecessarily. I've also had a lot of conversations with friends and family about refinancing because lenders are very good at presenting the numbers that make a refinance look attractive. But the full picture, the actual cost of the refinance, weighed against the realized savings over a realistic time frame, it sometimes tells a different story. Sharing that perspective costs me nothing, and it has saved people real money and real heartache and inconvenience. None of that is part of my job description, but it costs nothing to share what you know. And when the information actually helps someone, when they leave that table with a clearer picture than they had walking in, well, that's what matters to me. Expertise is a form of abundance. If you know something that can help someone and you share it freely, that's giving. Don't underestimate the value of what you know. And then there's the kind of giving that costs you something, and it's something significant, but it pays off in ways that you don't fully see until later. So for years, I coordinated fundraising for my kids' local summer swim team. And that meant organizing and running the concession stand at meets, managing the inventory, handling money, keeping things moving in the middle of a loud, chaotic summer event, week after week. It was a lot of effort. It was a lot of time, some of my own money, and honestly, most of it was very thankless day to day. But at the end of every season, it came together. We had enough to throw a real celebration for these kids, a party for the whole team and their families, and t-shirts for every swimmer. Kids who had worked hard all summer, getting better week by week, were being recognized for it. My kids still have those t-shirts, the ones from when they were very little until they were well into their late teens. They even still wear the ones from their late teenage years. Something about that stays with me. That the things we create through consistent, unglamorous effort have a way of lasting longer than the effort itself. But there's a layer to the concession stand story I haven't mentioned yet. While we were running it, I used it as a real money lesson for kids who came to buy things. They had a set amount to spend. How could they get what they really wanted within that limit? We worked through it with them with actual math, actual decisions, counting money, counting back change to make sure everything added up correctly. It was a really small thing in the middle of a very busy event, but those kids were learning that money requires decisions and that what you have is finite, and that making it work is a skill, not a mystery. Now, that's not nothing. You can give a financial education without a classroom. Sometimes it happens over a concession stand counter on a Saturday morning in July or a Wednesday evening. Look at all of those things: the volunteering, the neighbors, the knowledge shared at closings, the years of swim team fundraising. None of it was a grand gesture. None of it made headlines. Most of it nobody even noticed except for the people directly involved. But here's what I've observed about giving consistently over time. It keeps scarcity from taking hold. When you give regularly in whatever form that takes for you, you stop feeling like you don't have enough, because the act of giving is proof that you do have something. You always have something. That's time, skill, knowledge, presence, effort, creativity. The list is longer than most of us realize. And when you operate from that reality, when giving becomes part of how you show up rather than something you plan to do someday, it changes how you see yourself. You stop being someone who is waiting to have enough to participate. You become someone who participates with what you have right now. And that shift from waiting to participating is one of the most powerful moves you can make against a scarcity mindset. Go ahead and grab that journal And if you haven't, look in the description. You can get one sent to your email inbox right away. It'll make this a whole lot easier for you if you need it or want it. We've got 3 prompts today. First, where am I already giving in my life? Write it out honestly. You may be doing significantly more than you're giving yourself credit for. Count all of it, whether it's time, presence, knowledge, effort, or just showing up. Second, what does giving look like for me right now? Not in the future season when things are easy. Right now, with what you have available, and be specific. Third, one way I can give something this week is keep it simple, keep it real. It's something that costs you nothing but doesn't create hardship, then do it. Because giving isn't about what you'll have someday, it's about how you show up today and tomorrow and the day after that. Giving isn't a destination you arrive at when you finally have enough. It's a practice you build right now with exactly what you have. And the more consistency and consistently you practice it, the harder it becomes to believe you have nothing to offer, because the evidence keeps proving otherwise. Remember, you have more control than you think. You've got this. I'll see you tomorrow for day 17, where we flip this completely and talk about the other side of the equation, receiving. And for a lot of women, that's actually the harder skill. We'll talk about why and what we do about it. I'll see you then.